Excellent. Let me start off first by congratulating you both. It's a new year. The show is actually going to be getting in front of eyeballs next week. So let me start off with the obvious question. How are you both feeling about it? I've asked before in previous interview cycles, and it's been a while since the production started. So now that it's here, how are you feeling?
I'm thrilled. I mean, it's kind of like a finally thing, you know what I mean? Like, it's been, we've had this, take place over such a long time. Um, to give people context, I remember when we were shooting the pilot, they were confirming Kavanaugh. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's how long
That's for sure.
it's been. So, if you go back in time and think about everything that's taken place since October of 2018,
Yeah.
that's and so it was also an interesting challenge to step in and out of these characters after such long breaks. You usually have that in an off season, but we were still developing these characters at the time. We didn't have an entire season under our belt to be able to fall back into. So that was kind of hard, doing this over this period of time.
Yeah. And so this is my first time being a regular on a show that it's actually gone to series. Like I've done some pilots before, but they've, never gone anywhere. And so when the pandemic happened, it's like very selfish and narcissistic, but like there was a thought in my head where I was like, yeah, of course, the one time I get on a show, it might get canceled because there's a worldwide pandemic, and I feel like it's aimed at me. Like, it's such a
pandemic was sent to tank your career.
Just my career, just the show. No, so I'm in a bit of a weird vacuum too, because I'm from a small town in Alaska, and I've just been up here hanging out, and I'll see like my aunt or like a friend or something. They're like, yeah, so you did a show? Yeah, right. Like, when's it coming out? I was like, no, I swear it's gonna come out. I'm an actor. And they're like, no, you're not. Get out of here.
So you're basically just doing this entire press junket just to convince your family that you
Yes.
actually have a series. Okay,
correct. Yeah. I want to rub this in my dad's face. Be like, listen, your son made something.
Something I've been asking everybody, and I'd like to get your perspectives on it also, is with so many shows out there on streaming and cable and broadcast, Resident Alien seems to have a little bit of everything for whatever somebody's looking for. What would you say to a viewer who wants to check it out? Like, what's Resident Alien got going for it that would put it above some other choices they might make?
I think the one thing that everyone would be expecting, obviously, is the sci-fi component, the comedic component with Alan at the lead and with Chris, our showrunner, in his previous work on Family Guy. But I think the thing that would shock people the most are the relationships between the characters, how human everyone is, and how you can go from laughing yourself to tears in one moment to actually maybe like having real tears in another. There's a lot of, as with the fluidity of life itself, there's a lot of fluidity of emotion when it comes to the show. I don't think it can be pigeonholed into one specific thing, which I think is a plus and a minus. It's a plus in the sense that it does have something for everyone. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people who show up for one thing and get that thing and something else. But it can also be kind of a downside when people are like, well, I don't know what it is, so I'm not going to bother. But I would strongly recommend everybody check it out, because I don't like anything, even my own shit. Sometimes I don't like anything. I'm not even gonna lie, but I absolutely love this show, and we've got something very special here that I think we can all see it for being what it is, and hopefully the audience will come and discover what we already know.
Agreed. I remember just being at the table reads and just being blown away. Like really, I'm not just saying that. Like the writing, I just think is so great. And I mean, I feel like I'm not TV is great right now, but I feel like I'll watch shows and you can kind of like how the joke's gonna go and bum bum bum, or like how like what's gonna happen, and the writers and especially Chris Sheridan just so good at playing against like the pitfalls of like so many storylines. Like I was just so surprised where the show ends up going, really. So I think that'll be. I think the audience would appreciate that. Getting invested in the first season, just being surprised with where things go.
And my last question I have to ask you both before I wrap up. Resident Alien aside, what is your geek pleasure that gets you through the day or has been getting you through quarantine? Watching, listening to, reading?
I'm a video game nerd, so and comic book superhero kind of nerd. So I watch cartoons with my kid. I play Xbox and PlayStation. I I just, that's kind of what's been getting me by is and today I'm going to watch the 3 episodes of the show that they sent us because you guys got 7. They only sent us 3. I mean,
I've only seen one. So.
You've only seen one, yeah, I know. So, but that's pretty much what I've been up to. Levi, you're restoring your home, aren't you?
Oh yeah, so I'm building a cabin up in Alaska, and I am a terrible carpenter, and it's taken all my focus. So I haven't really had time to spin out like I normally would, given the amount of work that I have to do on this cabin, putting a new roof on this place. So.
I would say
that's not a window by the way. That's just a hole in the wall.
That's just a hole in the wall.
I'm kidding.
Look, thank you both so much. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on the series, and I think a lot of people are going to love it next week. And again, best to you and yours, and I hope everybody's staying healthy and safe.
Likewise.
Thank you, Ray. Appreciate it, man. Be well.